we're going to do some measurements. Honey, you ready to measure the garden?
Got my measuring tape. Ready.
Beauty day for it.
Gorgeous day. I think back here, we have a lot of space in the yard.
Great spot.
And I think there's pretty good sun exposure.
Over towards where you are is more of the 4 hour, that's partial sun. Where I am in the sun is 6 hours.
I mean, we have like 30 feet here we can play with.
To work with? Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So
good to know.
we can have a pretty big garden here.
Okay.
And then this way,
Yeah, what are you thinking?
because I still don't want to take up the entire yard with the garden. So let's see. So here's 20 feet. What do you think, a nice big garden bed for your first garden beds?
Say garden bed one more time.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be a big garden.
Since Michael and I have now organized our garden equipment and tools, we've sown our seeds, and we've also chosen our garden location. I'm very excited about that. I have my nifty notepad, my to-do list, so we can just check things off. So let's just go in order. So the next on the agenda is to decide between a raised garden bed or an in-ground garden bed.
I feel like I like raised garden beds because you don't have to bend over. It keeps bunnies out, and we have bunnies up here. Keeps probably other small animals out of the gardens. They're, in the long run, better. I mean, over the years, when we get a little bit older, we don't have to bend down as much. We like this property and we want to keep it for years to come, so
yeah, we'll be old one day picking vegetables from this garden. I also like the thought of an in-ground garden bed just because of potential growth, and there's more potential to plant different varieties that you can expand and grow over time, whereas a raised garden bed is just set in place with the size that you build it.
So you're thinking we do both?
I like the idea of both. Why not have the best of both worlds?
Let's have our cake and eat it too.
Perfect. I love it. We need to choose what building materials we need for the raised garden bed.
Yeah, married a carpenter, so
yeah, that might be a little bit more difficult doing the stone option.
The pro to stone is we'll get a lifetime versus cedar's high maintenance, and I think we'd be lucky to get 20 years out of a cedar garden bed.
And that's with proper maintenance throughout the years.
Exactly. So it comes down to how much we want to spend.
Right.
And also the fact that your husband's a carpenter and not a mason.
Right, and style. It does come down to style. So maybe we should go on Pinterest, do a deep dive on the internet, see, what style we like. What do we want our garden to look like? What's the feel we're going for? So I already have a Pinterest account going with a bunch of saves for my dream garden. Why don't you take a peek at your phone, see what you love, and then we'll come up with a plan together.
I like that.
Okay, so tell me, what have you found? What are your saves? What are your faves?
So I found a few, but I don't know. I'm not sold on these.
Okay, so it's funny that yours are all wood. All of mine, mine are actually stone.
Yeah. I feel like my thoughts are more inside the box in the sense of, like, I've built raised garden beds before out of wood, and I'm not in love with it, but they're just examples of something we can maybe start with, and then maybe we can fancy this up. But this one, I like that there's a wire mesh there, and it almost acts like a gate, but animals can still get in there, so maybe this isn't the greatest idea.
Like these stone ones, they fit with our house a bit better, because our house is a century home.
Problem is, again, I'm a carpenter and I love working with wood, but then I'm looking at the pictures of wood raised garden beds versus stone raised garden beds, and I like the looks of the stone more.
Right. Cedars, it's kind of just boring. Like, I want to paint it.
Well, it's funny because I feel like after you were showing me those pictures of the stone garden beds, I feel like all the pictures that I have don't compare. Like, the stone ones are beautiful and timeless.
So you ready to take on a challenge?
Yeah, I don't want to take the easy way out and say...
try some masonry?
Yeah.
Okay, so since we've decided on a stone raised garden bed, which I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah, and I'm excited for the new challenge to do something a little different.
Yeah. What's next?
Well, I think you need to draw exactly what you're envisioning, and maybe I can call someone and inquire exactly about where we can get some stone. I'll draw the perimeter, because we know we're going to go approximately 30 by 20, so it's a big garden bed. So this is the outline of the garden. We know our rough size that we're gonna work with.
Right.
So then just fill in where you want the raised garden beds, the in-ground garden bed. Yeah, you essentially just go wild.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Thank you.
Alright. What have you come up with?
So I have 2 drafts.
Ooh.
This is draft 1.
Yeah, I really like that. RB is raised bed.
Garden bed.
In-ground.
IGB is in-ground garden bed.
Yeah.
I thought that it'd be cute to have a little gate on the other side. I haven't decided what our entrance is going to look like yet, but
Right.
what are we doing for a fence?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do with a fence. I mean,
I like a wrought iron fence.
that's expensive. We could maybe build a cedar fence.
Yeah, maybe that's what we do.
Yeah, and I think we can tackle the fence later. Right now, it's the 2 of us,
Right.
and we have a massive garden to build. So I think if we start with the garden, then we can
Good.
focus on the fence later.
And then this was my second draft, a little bit more intricate and detailed, and a little bit more outside of the box. I had this vision of doing a spiral in-ground garden bed. A little bit adventurous, a little bit outside the box, but essentially the same concept with the raised garden beds along the perimeter and having the in-grown garden bed on the inside. And I even added like a fruit tree here and there and a bird feeder. So this one I went wild with.
I see that. I do love it. I think both designs are great. I think what we do is that we start building, we can start with this one. Start building the raised garden bed and kind of see what we think of that and what we think of the one size and go from there. And use this as inspiration moving forward and kind of like a rough plan.
Yeah, I like that. So that we don't have to mow the lawn in the garden. It would be nice if we laid crush down and then put flagstones.
Yeah, we do have all that flagstone from our property that we've picked out.
Exactly. Yeah, we have recycled flagstone from the previous owners that left it here. So if we can repurpose that and put that in, I think that it would look really sharp, and then it would also be low maintenance so that we're not having to cut the grass in the garden space. One thing that Michael and I have done is actually look to use recycled materials. So we've gone on websites such as like Kijiji and Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, all of those websites where other people are selling their old items and looking for ways that we can repurpose them. And in terms of the stone, I'm not sure what you found.
So I talked to John from Beaver Valley Stone, and he's given us a good price.
And he's local.
So I think I found the stone that I want to use for this garden.
Oh, I can't wait to see.
So I love your designs.
Thank you.
I think the next step is to do a material takeoff based on your drawings. I'm going to order some screening, some 3/4 clear, some soil, and the stone from Beaver Valley.
I love it. And we have the measurements for the stone and everything, right?
Yeah, we have the rough measurements that we want to work with. I'll add 10% for cuts or anything like that, maybe mistakes.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there.
Actually, that's a really good tip. Always order a little bit more.
Yeah, especially when you're ordering stone or something heavy. You're ordering that's going to have a shipping fee. So if you order a little bit extra, it's good to have some around in case you want to build another garden bed or just tie it in somehow or expand it, rather than to run a little bit short and have to order more.
Right, that's smart.
Do you want to see the picture of the stone I'm thinking of?
I'd love to.
All right.
I love it.